Don DeBar, 87 Ferris Place. First, I'd like to thank you for this resolution. I've been waiting 15 years for some board somewhere in this community to stand up to this project. So thank you for it. On its merits, this resolution should stand. This plan was first presented to the people of Ossining on October 6, 1998. The process that we were put through was concluded in September of 2005, when title to the property was transferred to the developer, who paid $2.5 million for it. Before the following year was over, the developer had gone to the bank and borrowed $12 million against it, meaning not that the bank thought that it was worth $12 million, but rather that they thought it was worth $16 million at a minimum. Immediately after that, they filed for a certiorari to reduce the taxes to 10% of what they were at the time. And they filed again the following year and again the following year. You people bore the expensive litigation for that, among the many expenses this community has had to suffer. If you look at the difference in what the bank thought the property was worth, $16 million, and what the community received for it, $2.5 million, forgetting that they bent the zoning all out of shape down there, forgetting that they completely corrupted the political process in this community, irrevocably. I mean, we even elected a board that ran to oppose the project that was co-opted in front of the whole community. Regardless of all of that, when you consider per person, every person in this community took or suffered a transfer of public wealth to private hands. These private hands that are now looking for a tax, for a pilot. It's about $750 for every man, woman, and child in the community that we contributed out of our $16 million piece of land and received $2.5 million for it. If the gentleman who's been on the project for the last 3 years, who has now the updated environmental review, were to look at the original environmental review and the comments filed, he would see, in fact, that the non-viability economically of this project, even before the economic collapse in 2008, but by the way, the comments anticipated a possible economic collapse in the real estate market, it would have seen that there was detail in there that the project may not be viable and would have allowed for that in their plans. The Village, by the way, from 1998 until 2005, every version of the agreement that they had with the developer allowed for a reversion of title in the event of a default by the developer. That default has been now standing for about 6.5 years or 6 years. But the Village took that out at the last moment in another concession to the developer. So long story short, every concession has been made from the beginning. We gave up the integrity of our political process. We gave up in excess of $10 million worth of land. We gave up our zoning ordinance. And we gave up a whole hell of a lot more because there's an awful lot of people in this community that are not involved and won't be no matter what you do with them because they feel it's useless because that's their experience. And now to come back and say we're not going to build a project that we haven't built for the last 8 years unless you give us more is an insult to everyone in this community. And I urge you to stand on this resolution, and I thank you for bringing it up.